everyone. Today I would like to read out the third chapter from my manuscript, Friends of Both Worlds. The chapter is titled Hope. Eventually, my temple and church visits shifted to evenings with the hope of meeting Shanti. Reaching school early also benefited me. I wanted to know more about her, but I never had the courage to ask her anything, neither about her autistic child, whom I considered the most intelligent one. Her eyes looked odd to the world, but to me, they reflected the world themselves. Sometimes we look straight into people's eyes, yet never mean the words we say. Her eyes could never look straight into anyone's, yet they mirrored the human heart. We often mean one thing and say another. Somehow there was purity in her heart, as it lacked the calculated reasoning of so called normal people. I felt she saw the world differently. While speaking those two or three words, she moaned. Shanti handled her child with immense patience. Traveling by bus that day was not easy for her, yet she somehow managed. Over the next few days, we became friendly, often sharing a seat on the same bus or traveling together in an auto. Her mother managed the three children at home. Still, I did not have the courage to ask her anything about her life. One morning, Shanti was standing at the bus stop. As usual, I stood next to her. She was unusually quiet that day and replied to my good morning with just a smile. I stayed quiet too, waiting for her to speak. Shanti said, "Can we take an auto today?" I was more than happy as it meant avoiding the crowded bus. As soon as we stepped into the auto, I could see she could no longer hold back her tears. She started crying. I held her hand tightly and looked at her. I asked the auto driver to go a little slow that day. I said, "Do you want some water?" Shanti said, "No, I'm okay." I said, "If you feel like sharing something, I'm here." Shanti said, "I'm a divorcee. After my third daughter was born, a few years later, my husband and I realized she's autistic. To him, she became a shame and he wanted to abandon her. As a mother, I didn't have the heart to do that. There was constant disagreements and arguments at home. What initially seemed like a happy marriage slowly turned into frustration. With great difficulty, I managed to get a divorce. I'm facing severe financial problems. He doesn't send the compensation he's supposed to. I looked at her and spoke softly. I said, "How do you feel about taking his money? The man who abandoned you and your daughters when you needed him the most. If I were you, I wouldn't have touched anything that belonged to him." "Shanti, you're a bold woman. You can do this on your own." Shanti said, "Anamika, it's easy to talk, but in reality, nothing works without money. A divorced woman is never treated with respect. Sometimes I wish I had stayed with him and endured his tortures." I said, "You did the right thing by walking away from a relationship that only caused you pain." Shanti said, "Do you know the struggles I face every day, managing work, home, my daughters, and financial pressure?" I said, "I still believe you can do it." Shanti said, "I'm unable to manage. I wish I could do something for you. I'm just a student," I said. "You are at least listening. I have no one who cares for me the way you do. I know you come early to bus stop every day just to meet me and understand me," Shanti said. How do you know that?" I said. She said, "I teach autistic children. I can see through the hearts of both autistic and neurotypical people equally." Slowly, I tried to divert her attention towards lighter conversations from our growing friendship. I couldn't bear to see her cry for long. I wanted to see the smile of the bold mother again. From that day onwards, Shanti and I became best friends. She shared her daily struggles with me, and I listened, sometimes offering hope, sometimes cheering her on when she wanted to achieve something that seemed impossible. The stranger no longer felt like a stranger. She had become a part of my evening prayers too. I slowly stopped talking about her at home, fearing that my friendship with her would be discouraged. Some mornings were spent wiping her tears, and some were filled with smiles we shared over our small victories, hers and mine. For me, it was an exam I had done well in, and for her, it was simply a day that passed without much struggle. Our expectations did not fade. In fact, I wanted her to be honest with me, and she expected the same from me. With every morning we spent together, that honesty became the foundation of our friendship. That's all for the day. That's the third chapter. Do let me know your thoughts about the story by writing in the comment section. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.